Hello, everybody. Welcome to Day Drinking with David. We are very excited to be welcoming our friends at Bardstown Bourbon Company, one of the most exciting new distilleries in the country, and a place I've been a couple of times and enjoyed immensely. They're doing some really interesting stuff, and we're going to get to taste through the lineup as well as talk about the future and walk through the beautiful distillery there on the outskirts of Bardstown. If you've never been to Bardstown, of course, it is in a lot of ways historically and currently one of the centers of Kentucky bourbon production. It's a fun little town. Oh, is that Joe? Oh, Joe's the best. Anyway, they should be here. Let's see. Our friends from Bardstown are good. Maybe not here yet. Anyhow, it's a gorgeous facility. Oh, there you are. Here we go. Sam is here. Samantha.
I know I can't hear anymore. I don't know why. Hold on a sec. So give me just a second.
Hear me? I was talking to nothing.
I can hear you now. I'm going to turn it over to Nick, who's going to be your first introduction. So.
Oh, here we go. Nick, thank you for being here. This is Head Distiller Nick. I guess I just spoke for the last 10 minutes and maybe nobody could hear me because I think I was connected to my AirPods upstairs. Oh, well. Here we are. Thanks for having us at the beautiful Bardstown Distillery. Welcome to Day Drinking with David. Here we are.
Thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll start off with the tasting, then Sam's going to take you all through a tour. Evening drinking for Nick here in Kentucky compared to you out in California. So not quite day drinking for me. So it's almost 5 o'clock here, so I'm ready for
you're ready, huh? You're ready. Okay, I'll try and keep up then. I still got a whole day of stuff to do. It's terrible. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about Bardstown Distillery, Bardstown Bourbon Company, and why and how it was founded, and the significance of what y'all are doing out there. And I'd love to hear about it and how you got involved, of course.
Yeah, no problem. So Bardstown Bourbon Company was founded in 2013. So that's when the idea first came about. Peter Lofton was our founder, our main investor. He was the owner, founder of the company. We actually started this distillation in 2016 of September. So that's when the distillery first fired up. With that, we have expanded very significantly in the 4 years that we've been here. So the first 8 months, we we started proof gallons a year. We ran 4 days a week, and 8 months into it, we doubled our capacity. With doubling the capacity, that involved putting 8 more fermentation tanks in, and we went to 24/7 operations. And that took us to 3 million proof gallons a year. 1 year after that, in 2018, we doubled capacity again. And that expansion involved adding another mash cooker. We added another 36-inch column still, and then we added 16 more fermentation tanks. And that took us to about 6 million proof gallons a year. And we did some efficiency projects and changed our beer gallons. And this year we're looking at producing 7.3 million proof gallons, which will put us at the 7th largest whiskey bourbon distillery in the United States. So significant growth in the first 2 years of being here, which is crazy and really speaks volumes to the team.
Well,
so
you know something's going on where every time you show up, there's like 3 new warehouses. You're like,
yes, construction company has never left here since day one. So right now we're working on our bottling facility, 50,000 square foot bottling facility. that will be open June 1st. And with that complete, that really makes us a one-stop shop for our collaborative distillation program. And that's our goal here. That's our name. That's what we do. We don't just make for ourselves, but we also make for other companies, partners, customers. And right now we have 31 people that we produce for starting in 2021, which is incredible. And with that, makes us a very flexible distillery. We have now produced over 50 different mash bills in the 4 years we've been here, which is insane to think. Most of I came from a large distillery. I'm from Jim Beam Brands. Most of the large guys, you're looking at maybe 3 to 5 mash bills is what they run. Us in the 4 years, just over 4 years, have done 50. So that's working with customers' grains, customers' product, mash bill, everything like that, and then all the different recipes that we have here with Bardstown Bourbon Company as well.
Well, and I think it's really a cool model. I mean, the way it was described to me when I first got there was sort of like, hey, we can kind of, do all this incredible stuff for all these brands, give them a home, which I think is really cool. Because, so many of these non-distiller producers don't have anywhere to send people when they go to Kentucky. And that all of that awesome business pays for the own whiskey, and you all don't have to rush out a 2-year-old or, dink
Yes.
around like that. I think it's a smart play. And
and that's great. Like you said, cash flow coming in, producing for others. We're getting cash flow. Day one, we had cash flow coming in right at the start, which is rare for this industry, because usually you have to wait 2, 4, 6, however many years until your product's ready, or flavored moonshines to get cash flow coming in early. And with our program, we were able to have cash flow coming in right away with our customers' production, to be able to sit on our juice for a little while and let it age till it's good and ready, and we're ready to come out with it, which right now we're looking at about the 6-year mark on coming out with some of ours by itself, standalone product.
Great. So not too much longer, I guess, huh?
Not too much longer. So we'll hit that 6-year mark, like I said, September of 2022. So you should see out by itself Q1 of 2023 is when you'll see the first Bardstown Bourbon Company bottled by itself, not blended or anything.
And you guys also run, which I think very few people can argue with, Bardstown's finest dining establishment.
Yes.
Although
definitely Bardstown's finest. So, before we were here, it was a Cracker Barrel was our finest establishment here in Bardstown for dining. So the restaurant program here, Chef Stu, what the food and products that he makes back in the kitchen, it's really unbelievable what they've brought here to Bardstown on the restaurant scene.
Yeah.
And cocktails. Sam reminded me about the cocktails. I cannot forget the cocktail program in our bar. Right behind me here, got a little snapshot of it. So, we don't just carry our own products, we carry everyone's product. And, with our restaurant and bar here, we're a neutral site for all of the other distilleries around. It's not rare to see, Willett's, Jim Beam, Woodford, any of the guys at those operations come in and have lunch with some of their customers and vendors and people like that, where they can sit down here in a nice place and they can order their product. It's really nice.
Well, and I hate to term it like this, because I know in Kentucky they don't love it when I say this, but the sort of Napa-ization of bourbon. I mean, they love it because it means money, but Bardstown is really it's a historical heart. It continues to be a heart of production. There are distilleries opening all the time. It's a beautiful little town and what have you. But you go to Bardstown, it's like there ain't nowhere to stay. There's you can maybe get an Airbnb. There are a couple of little places here and there. So you're staying in Louisville and driving 45 minutes in to go around. And I was hoping, I don't know if this isn't still in the plans, but I know you guys were talking about doing like a hotel maybe there at one point and those sorts of things. I think it's really exciting in terms of a destination that you're creating for the entire distilling community in the area. Because right now it's a fun place to visit, but you can't hang out there for more than a couple nights, or else it gets a little tough. And so
we do, the hotel discussion, it's still up in discussion. There's no final on that yet, but Bardstown, actually, we have got 2 brand new hotels that we just built. So yes, we got a Holiday Inn Express and a Fairfield Inn that were just complete, and construction is starting on a third hotel. So hotels are starting to pop up because I think they see the growth of this industry, the tourism coming to this town. And like you said, we would much rather have, people coming and staying in Bardstown versus staying in Louisville and driving 45 minutes to come and see us.
Sure. Not to mention, like, for the local economy, that's huge. It's like, it's one thing to have people just pass through and stop at the distilleries, but if people are eating there and shopping there and, making it a destination, I mean, just like any other industry, hopefully we can find a way for that area to prosper off of this incredible product that y'all are creating.
Yeah, and like you said, we are trying to make it a destination experience here at Bardstown Bourbon Company. We want to do things different than the traditional way. We don't want people to come in and feel like a herd of cattle that we're herding them through the door. Let's take this 30-minute tour, go to the gift shop, push them out the door. Let's get the next group in here so we can just get as many bodies in the door. We want people to come, learn. We have a classroom upstairs at the start of the tour to teach you all about the process before you go out onto the floor. We have multiple different tastings we can do. You go out to the warehouse. We have honey spot tastings to pull straight from the barrel. We have cocktail classes. We have just about everything that you could do here because we want people to come and spend the day with us. We don't want you in and out. We want you to stay, learn, educate, take in the restaurant, have lunch, dinner, visit retail, do the full entire thing, and spend the whole day with us versus just in and out.
I don't want to go anywhere else. Build that hotel. I just want to chill out there.
Well, if we build it, we'll get a room for you right away.
We'll call it the K&L Suite.
K&L Suite. There you go.
Well, we've been working together for so long. Back in the day, y'all did a collaboration with Copper and Kings up in Louisville, and we sold those, and we were super excited to see what you're doing on the Fusion line. But I was really happy to see you send me some distillate. That's fun. I thank you for that. I'm very excited to taste that. And then we're going to taste through the line, the Fusion, the Discovery, and I guess this is your own maturate.
Yes,
cool.
It is. So what we're going to do, and it's really neat, it actually, the first three that we'll go over, that distillate is involved in all three of those first products. So we'll test the distillate first. And then when we try the maturate, that is that distillate aged for right about 3 years. So you get to see how much that distillate transforms in the barrel for a 3-year period. And then when we move over to Fusion, that product, that 3-year product, actually makes up a percentage of the Fusion blend. So it's actually in 42% of the bottle, the 3-year-old 36% product. So you get to see it as the distillate, the maturate, and then in the blend. And then, like you said, then we'll transition over to our Discovery series, which is all source product and shows our blending capabilities here as a team.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I do appreciate that. Well, let's get started. I mean, I can't think of another better thing to do right now. You said you do 50 different mash bills, but presumably you hone on a few for your own products.
Yes.
Tell us what this is.
So this one, the first one we're going to do, easiest one to pick out too. It's clear. Can't mess this one up. Definitely easy to identify. So this is a distillate right here. And this recipe is a 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley. And what we're going to try is it was distilled off the column stills at 120 proof. And we have double distillation, so distilled off the doublers at 130 proof. And then barrel entry proof, we cut that back down to 120 proof going in the barrel. So this sample that you have right here would be at 120 proof, cut down right before it goes into the barrel.
So this would be considered a very high rye recipe, essentially.
Yes, this would be a high rye recipe, definitely a high rye bourbon recipe. Usually anything under 70% corn, over about 23 or so percent rye, I consider a high rye recipe. So.
Yeah.
And then with my tasting, you're very experienced at it, I'm sure. I always like to do nose, palate, finish, take it all in. I get a lot off my nose, so I always like to do nose, palate, finish. And with this distillate right off the nose, you're gonna experience that rye.
Yep. Yeah.
You're getting that spicy characteristic. I pick up a little bit on the smell, a little menthol. Actually, it reminds me of a little bit of menthol. Is one of the characteristics I pick up on it. Definitely get that spicy, peppery note.
There's a sweetness behind, though. It doesn't feel hardcore, like
Slight sweetness, and that's what you're picking up from that 60% corn in there versus being a rye whiskey where majority of the percentage is going to be your rye. You're getting a little bit of that sweet characteristic from that corn.
Yeah, pretty tasty.
Tasty for a distillate, very clean. You get a little bit of that grain characteristic, but you're not getting that full just grainy note burning all the way down. It's very smooth, easy to drink distillate. I mean,
is this 130 or you proofed it down?
This is at 120 right here.
Wow.
So originally distilled off, like I said, the first distillation was 120 proof, the second distillation 130. So final product was 130, but then we cut it back down to 120 before
filling
going into the barrel.
Great.
Yeah, definitely a little grainy characteristic, but you can get that spice. You pick up that rye, that spicy note going all the way through it with you, and that little hint of sweetness from the corn carries over as well. And I'm very proud, and a lot of people that try our distillates here, very proud of all of our distillates here. They're very clean, smooth, easy to drink, and a lot of people ask us why we don't sell it by itself, because some of them are so good, especially some of our wheat distillates that have a major sweetness with the corn and wheat in there, that they love it as it is, and they ask why we don't bottle it right now. So we tell them to just wait a little bit longer. They'll love it even more in about 6 years.
That's Bardstown way though, right? I mean, this is an old moonshining. This is old moonshiner name. I sure.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty delicious. It's really approachable, but it's not boring. It's not one note. It's got a lot going on. Sometimes I worry with ultra clean distillates, is it going to stand up in a barrel for 4, 5, 6 years? But you can feel the length. I'm still getting new flavors. Lots of menthol now on the finish. You said that before, but it's now gone to like that not just that mintiness, like that really nice, like almost icy hot sort of menthol, if the right word. You can feel the texture. That's the other thing. It's got really a lot of weight, which I really like. That was really fun. I'm so glad you guys included that. What next? The maturate?
The maturate will be next. So with the maturate, what we're taking now is simply that distillate that we just tried. Like I told you, cut down to 120 proof to go in the barrel. We put it in the barrel. This barrel right here was an independent stave company. Char number 3 barrel is the barrel that was used for this maturate. So the notes that usually I like people to know that what you're going to pick up 3 years on this. So right at 3 years old, you're already getting that color already. All the color coming from the char in that barrel. And then the big things I pick up still get that spicy, but I like to see how much that grainy characteristic, the barrel really starts to smooth that out, where you're not going to get that heavier grain notes like you get in the distillate.
Yeah.
Still pick up the spice on the nose, a little peppery, but that heavier menthol characteristic like we've found in the distillate, I feel like it has now dropped down. We're not getting as much as that.
Tempered a little bit, added
a little more of a cinnamon kind of than the menthol.
Oh, yeah.
And for 3 years, that one's coming along very, very nicely right now. So it's good stuff. And you still get slight sweetness, getting that sweetness from the corn. But the spice, you get that pepper, spicy note definitely on the finish. And just still got a pretty good, what I like to call Kentucky hug at that 3-year mark, coming down, getting a little bit of that burn on the finish with that Kentucky hug there.
Definitely a lot going on there. That's gonna. I think that's gonna be really rock and roll at 6 years. That's fun. Very exciting stuff. And so this is pretty typical. The high rye here in a number 3 char in these warehouses right outside here, I imagine.
Yes.
How many different distillates are you going to be using for the Bardstown Bourbon? I assume you're doing a wheater, doing a whatever.
We have a lot of different. So I know, like off the top of my head, we have 2 different wheat bourbons that we've done. We've got rye whiskey, your 95% rye, 5% malted barley. We've done 100% rye as well. I've done the 100% American single malt, so we've got the American single malt aging out as well. We've got some traditional bourbon recipes, 75% 21 rye, 4% malted barley. And then also I started a Kentucky Proud line, one that I did this year where I sourced all raw materials for Kentucky from Kentucky. So you always hear about Kentucky bourbon, Kentucky bourbon, but how often do you hear that actually every single thing that went into it came from Kentucky? So that's what I wanted to try to do. So I partnered with Kentucky Proud, here in Kentucky. They, certified all homegrown Kentucky products, helped the farmer out, farm to table type deal. Got certified with them. Their logos on all the barrels. And the first one I did this year is a wheat whiskey. So, and every year I want to change what I'm going to do. But like I said, all components coming from Kentucky. So I got the corn, the wheat, and had barley grown and malted in Kentucky. Had the white oak, the trees came from Kentucky. The cooperage was in Kentucky. So
very cool.
All distilled here in Kentucky. So that will be a brand that will come out as well. We've got, like I said, a high wheat bourbon recipe that we're very proud of here, the distillate, the way it's coming along, aging, very, very good. So multiple recipes under our portfolio here as well to come in the future.
Cool. So not all the experimentations are for the clients. Some of
everything's not for the clients. We do ours as well. So we do lay down production for us probably about 10% a year. And as our brand grows, that number will grow as well, but we will still always be a collaborative distillery here for our customers and partners.
Which a lot of people don't really realize all the big distillers are anyway. Very few of them aren't making whiskey for other people.
Well, a lot of times they might not be making it for other people, but if they have an abundance,
selling it.
They're going to sell those barrels and it's going to go to other people. So the brokers out there are going to have their hands in that to be able to get the barrels out on the market to other people. They won't sell to competition. It doesn't work like that. We can't just call up Heaven Hill and say, hey, we want to buy 200 barrels from you guys. They probably wouldn't go that way. Everything goes through brokers for all that. So like you said, most all distilleries technically could be contract distilleries, but not custom. You're going to order something off of a menu. You're not going to be able to come in like you are with us, sit down with me, Steve Nally, John Hargrove, our entire operations team here, and go step by step to build your recipe.
That Sunday mash that somebody forgot to flip over, and now it doesn't taste good enough for anything going on the
possibility.
Speculating. Anyway, this is really delicious. I don't want to move on, but they just keeps getting better. One interesting thing that you guys, and I think it sort of speaks to the spirit of collaboration of what you doing is the Fusion series, which I think that's where probably taste next, right?
Yes.
Tell us about Fusion. What is the idea behind this line?
So with Fusion, the name is exactly what we're doing. We're fusing some of our bourbon that's younger with an older, more mature bourbon that we source. So we're fusing those together. What we're trying to do here is we're giving the consumer a peek at what's to come for Bardstown Bourbon Company and showing our capabilities here as a team to blend. And before we get into the tasting, I'll let you know how we do all of these blends. Really neat. Like I said, full team effort here at Bardstown Bourbon Company. We don't have a master blender or one person saying this is what the blend's going to be. Everyone is involved with it. So it's kind of like March Madness, bracket style tournament, you could say. So with the products that we have available to do the blends, we put those out. Anyone in the company is allowed to come and make their own blend with it. They can experiment, do their own blend, and then everyone can submit a blend. And once all the blends are submitted, we'll sit down maybe twice a week. Everybody in the room, there could be anywhere from 10 to 25 people in the room, and we'll do 5 of them at a time. And we'll look same as what we kind of do, nose, palate, finish, comments, and then we'll give it a score of 1 to 5. The room's dead quiet. All of it's blind. You don't know what you're drinking, whose blend you're drinking. And once every paper's turned in, then we discuss those. And highest average moves on, and we'll do that process until we have, about 5 of the highest average, and then we'll go Next round, do those. When we come out with a clear winner that everyone has agreed on, then we'll go into the proofing stage. So we'll have it at cask strength, and then we'll take it down, different proof points, and we'll go the same route, blind tasting on that. That way we come out, and I love this philosophy, not only because it gets everyone in the company involved. Anyone can make up their own blend and come out with the next blend, but also we touch so many more palates. It's not just me saying, oh, this is good stuff right here. This is what needs to come out, because my palate could be completely different from yours. So what I think's good, you might not think is good. So we're getting a high collective average of all really good people in the industry, century trained, to come out with the best product we can come out with as a team together. So really neat process.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that is really interesting. Building blends by consensus. I like it. It's also a great excuse to sit down and drink and taste a bunch of different whiskeys.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Get you out of the office a little bit to be able to drink and have a little fun.
This is gorgeous. So tell us about the current Fusion we're tasting.
So with this one, this is Fusion number 3, and I'll start with Fusion 1, 2, and 3. We're all the same makeup as far as the percentages of the mash bills in the bottle, but it got older each series. So you got to see how much it grew. The flavors changed in that barrel, going from series 1 to series 2 to series 3. When we started off, the 2 products of ours that were in it were both 2-year-olds on the first series with an 11-year-old source. The series 2, we had a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old of ours with now a 12-year-old source. And then the series 3, now both of ours are 3-year-old products, and the source has now turned 13. So you get to see, if you have the full series, how much that has transformed each year.
But the blending is done after. It's not as if are they blended in barrel and then finished, or these are blended after before bottling, right?
These are blended before bottling, yes. So we do the blends before, but the makeup for each series has been the same with this one. And the series 3 that we're going to taste today, 60% of what's in this bottle was done here at Bardstown Bourbon Company. The other 40% was the source product. And the neat thing about us, we're extremely transparent. So I don't know if everyone could see that at home, but we want to make sure the consumer knows what they're getting in the bottle. So on all of ours, we put the exact makeup on the side of the bottle. Through NDAs, we can't tell you, the origin for the source product. We give you the state, the mash bill, and the age. So with a little bit of Google research, you can usually figure that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, very transparent here, and the consumers love it. And the consumers are smart these days. They know, most of them know what they're getting in the bottle, and they know that if a company is sourcing product and putting their name on it and they're not doing it, most consumers know that, and we don't want to lie. We want to be transparent with that. Yes, 60% of this was ours. The other 40% was a good source bourbon that we brought in here. So we love the transparency, and the consumer loves it as well.
Yeah, and I think there used to be some sort of stigma on this non-distiller producer thing in the industry, not only from the big distillers, but from the consumer side. And I think just the amount of information that is out there now has totally diminished that. Like, people don't care if you distilled it or not. I mean, it's impressive when you're the distiller of your own product and it's delicious. Like, that's great, good for you. But people want just the best bourbon in the bottle.
Yeah, people want the best bourbon at the best price.
This is pretty fun stuff. I mean, it's interesting how integrated the young component is. It's like, especially having just tasted essentially this thing, it's a whole different world. But there are lines into that original feeling you have with the 3-year-old, because there's a significant portion in here. But yeah.
And that 3-year-old that we tasted all the way through, the 36% that we tasted through, that actually makes up 42% of this bottle, the Fusion number 3. So a high percentage of what's in there is that 36% that we tasted throughout. So it's neat to see how it goes from the distillate to the maturate, and then when you blend it with a little more, how much those characters change with just a little bit of time and the barrels. So. And the Fusion 3, I love it. I mean, it is off the nose. I get sweetness, green apple, honey. It's sweet. It's just got fruity characteristics to it.
Very well balanced.
Like you nailed it. Well balanced. It coats the whole palate. You get a whole complex mouthful. and then the finish, so smooth. Like I said, it's an everyday sipper for me. It's one that, especially people that aren't big in the bourbon, just getting introduced to bourbon, smooth, sweet, easy to drink, and I absolutely love it. This one right here is at 98.9 proof on this finished product.
Great place for it.
And then Fusion 4 will be coming out soon. So we have already done the blend for Fusion 4, and the blend was done by one of our tour guides. One of our visitor experience tour guides came up with this blend. Great blend, and we're transitioning now on the Series 4 to 2 new products that were ones of ours that we did. So the 20% wheat and the 36% rye that was in Fusion 3, 2, and 1, we now will hold back, because that way we can hold those back for when they turn 6 year to have those barrels available for when they turn 6 to come out by themselves for the 20% wheat and the 36% rye. And now we'll introduce 2 of our newer products for kind of the next line of Fusion going forward.
Well, Nick's talking about the Fusion 4 here that's just about to be released, and we've just tasted the Fusion 3, which is a blend of 2 3-year-old distillates from Bardstown, about 60% that. And did you say a 13-year-old Kentucky?
Yes, 13 Kentucky. Yes.
Nice old Kentucky bourbon. Distilled somewhere in Kentucky. We don't know where.
Yes, somewhere close to us.
Somewhere,
that's all I can give
not
you.
far. Huge percentage of the production is in Kentucky is within 40 minutes of you. But
the mash bill on the source is a 74 corn, 18 rye, 8 malted barley. Like I said, in Kentucky, with Google you can find it pretty quick.
Not a lot of people doing that 18% rye. This is when does the bottle? Someone's asking a question. When does the bottle your own experience come to fruition? I guess someone's asking when are your own bourbons coming out. We said 2022 is when we're going to expect pure Bardstown distillate.
Probably released in 2023 of Q1. So the start of 2023 Q1 will be the release. We'll turn 6 year. We're looking at about the 6 year mark. We'll turn 6 year in late September of 2022. So by the time we get it all together, proof, everything like that, what we're going to do with it, looking at a 2023 Q1 release.
There you go. Very cool. Awesome. Well, that was delish. And then sort of, this is kind of like how we first knew you guys, the Discovery series, taking really interesting barrel finishes, blending, and these have been extremely popular at our shop, and doing some really wild stuff here. Tell us about this batch here. What are we on, Discovery 3?
So this is Discovery number 3 right here. And Discovery series different from what we just discussed with the Fusion. So each one of the Discovery series has been completely different. You're not seeing a growth going along each series. Each blend has been completely different, and all the Discovery series blends are all source material. So this really just shows our capability as a team for our blending expertise and experience here is what we're showcasing. And all of the bourbons in most of these Discovery series, very high age. So the high age statements, really, really good. So, and this one that we're going to taste today has 2 13 years and a 10 year blended in it. So in the makeup on this one, you're going to have 23% is going to be the 10-year-old that is a 13% rye product. 32% is a 13-year-old Kentucky that is a 18% rye product, and the 45% is a 13-year-old 21% rye, which is an Indiana product. So we have 2 Kentucky products, one 10, one 13, and one Indiana at a 13 year. So most people could probably guess the Indiana one.
Yeah.
They might not need Google for that one.
No.
But with this, so like I said, the color, you can see the color difference from the Fusion and the Discovery. I mean, those are 3 high age bourbons right there. You can see how much darker it is than the Fusion right off the bat before we even get into the tasting of it. And then right off the nose.
Pretty good question. Why 6 years old? Why not longer?
That's just what we're going with right now. So a lot of us here are kind of fans of about a 6 year to 10 year, 8 year mark. So I'm a big 8 year guy myself. I enjoy 8 year. 6 years, kind of, we didn't want to just do 4 year. A lot of people just wait 4 years, come out with it. We wanted to wait 6 years, see where it's at. And if we don't think it's ready, we might not release it at the 6 year. You know, we're going to come out with it when it's good and ready. We want it to be the best product out for our first release. So we're the 6 year mark. It was kind of a collective agreement from the leadership team that most of us, that's the age statement that we like. But we will save some out. It won't just be 6 years. We won't come out with all 6 year only. We'll save some to do 8, to do 10s, 12s, things like that. So we will have higher age products, and we'll have younger age products in the future as well. So just looking at 6 year at the start.
I think bourbon does start to turn a corner at that like at 4, you can have great, good bourbon. But there's so much good bourbon at 4 years old out there that's what, like $20, $15. Like, what are you really going to add to the story there? Getting up to 6 year, doing something a little more special. But also there is like this funny thing in Kentucky, although now less so, but even just 10 years ago, I still would hear people in distilleries when we started going there be like, after 8 years, it's all downhill, that sort of thing. Like there is, and I think consumers want the big age statement, but there's a lot of risk when you're aging longer. There's a lot of cost. You end up with more bad barrels. You end up with leaky barrels. You end up, there's a lot of
evaporation. You might wait that 15 years and go check on it, and there's nothing left in it at that point.
Total waste of time.
And then, like you said, that there is that fine line, but that's the beauty and art of this industry. It might not be good at 6 years. It might be 8 years. It might be awesome at 5 years and 300 days, but at the 6 year mark, maybe it took a little turn. It does magic work in those barrels. And like you said, at least my palate, I'm not a big high age statement guy. I don't like to get a lot of the wood characteristic in the bourbon. I want to taste more of the bourbon flavors than the barrel. I don't want to taste the wood. I want to taste the bourbon flavors. I like a little bit of the oakiness, but I don't want it to take over the entire taste. And I feel like when I get up in the higher age stuff, that's what I pick up a lot, is the wood characteristic.
And someone did mention something kind of interesting also. How big do you imagine the first release to be? Are we talking 100 barrels, 1,000 barrels? What sort of quantity?
It will be a large release. We're hoping to almost be nationwide by the time we hit that release date. So right now we're in 13 markets, looking at expanding to, I believe, just over 20 in next year. So we're hoping the years after that we'll be in most all markets. So it will be a large release coming, the first one. And then the next ones will be larger because it'll be the growth just like our distillery. We started smaller. We were producing 1.5 million. Then 8 months later, went up to 3. Yeah. And a year later, up to 8. So the growth of our cases going out will follow that growth pattern of our distillery.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Awesome, man. This has been so fun. Was the discovery is just the blend? This is not finished or anything like that?
Not finished or anything. So no, the Discovery series is just blended series of old source product. Any of the finishes, those are our collaborative series that we do. So like the ones with Copper and Kings that you talked about, we've done multiple ones with Copper and Kings. We've done a orange curacao with them, apple brandy, American brandy, the double Mostel. So we've done a lot with Copper and Kings. One of the next releases.
Crushed out here, by the way. People
do what?
The Armagnac finish.
Oh yeah, that was a very. It got very popular after it sold out. So it went quick. There wasn't a whole lot of hype about it, but as soon as people found out about it, they wanted it. People were calling left and right, wanting to come in to give thousands of dollars if we could give them a bottle. And when we say we're sold out, we're sold out. We don't have any here that we could give you. It is gone. So it became very popular, and I will let you know we're in the process of round 2. So there will be another release, but like I said, we do like to do our finishes longer. So we're 18 months, so we're waiting on it right now, but we are in the process of doing another release, and our next collaboration release will be with Pfeiffer Pavitt. So we did one with Suzanne Pfeiffer Pavitt before, and this will be round 2 of that will release in Q1 of 2023 as well, or 2021. I'm way ahead of myself there. 2021 Q1.
Very cool. This has been super fun. I'm super excited to show everybody the distillery. I'm sure we could keep going indefinitely. We only have 20 more minutes, but someone does ask a question. Your opinion on the toasted barrel trend. you guys doing double barreling this whole thing? Any interest in that?
Yes, so sorry, I just got something stuck in my throat.
Okay.
Yes, we have done some toasted barrels. So we are doing Steve Nally's working on a master series that he's doing that's going to be finished off in some French oak casks that were toasted. And we have done some other toasted barrels as well, and have some experimental barrels as well. Some of the coopers that we work with on trying different chars, different groove patterns in the barrels to get more surface area. Things like that. Char barrels, like I said, all the different chars. We have over, I think, 60 different experimental barrels out there that we check in on every 6 months as well to see what we're getting from the different types of barrels, the different chars, everything like that.
Very cool. Well, Nick, this has been super exciting. I'm hoping the next time we meet is right there in that bar. And
that would be great.
Thanks for keeping the good juice flowing, and we wish you all the best. Stay safe out there, and looking forward to sharing one of these together. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it over to Sam now, who's going to take you all through the entire distillery. You're going to see our awesome, amazing facility and process here. So thanks for having me out today. And like I said, hopefully we'll see you soon out here in Kentucky.
We'll be back. Can't keep him away. As soon as they'll
Thanks, David.
Cheers, brother.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
So good. That was fun.
I was just the wizard behind the camera for a while. I hope you enjoyed your tasting with Nick.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about yourself. Who are you, Sam?
So now that I'm far away from Nick, I'll take my mask off. So I am the national brand ambassador for Bardstown Bourbon Company, which is kind of an ambiguous title. But how I came into this job was by bartending for several years, and was bartending in downtown Louisville when Bardstown Bourbon Company was just trying to kind of put together their team, and they wanted a cocktail perspective on the brand. So they hired me along with a couple other folks from different spots, and we helped open this beautiful restaurant and bar that I'm standing in right now. So I started with the brand to help open the restaurant and create the cocktail program, and then moved on to creating visitor experience and our tours. And now I mainly focus on virtual experiences and creating different types of virtual experiences, and also traveling around the country to help launch our product in different markets. Cool. So, which, as Nick mentioned, we're in 13 right now, and we're opening up 10 more next year. So it's a good place to be in. Nice. Very cool. We're so glad you're here with us. And people don't realize, you'll show us in a second, that this restaurant is literally in the distillery. I mean, like the wall behind you, or in front of you, I guess. I can't tell the perspective from here. It is. So what's really cool about us is, we kind of market ourselves as a modern brand and very transparent, right? And that's not only visible through our product, where you can see our blends and our mash bills on the side of the label, but it's evident with the design of our building, and it's really cool to see it from kind of a step back, because you see how much thought went into who we are as a brand. So I'll just flip my camera around and show you guys where I'm at right now. So over here are our stills, where you can see everything distilling, and that's one of our column stills right there, where that's pretty much beer right there that's getting distilled. And that's the facade of the restaurant. We have a beautiful patio that we recently just kind of took down because of the cold weather. And then this is the restaurant. Beautiful. Yeah, kitchen over here, dining in the middle, and then bar over where Nick was earlier. So, and our gift shop in the corner, where you can buy our products our customers' products and tons of kind of cocktail goodies. If you're into kind of making cocktails at home, we've got everything that you might need there. But the coolest thing is our distillery, because we do a lot of custom product, as Nick mentioned, which means we not only create new product for clients of ours that are looking for something customized, but we replicate recipes for brands that already produce their own product and are looking to expand. So we have one of the most technically sophisticated and advanced distilleries in the country, if not the world. So I wanted to take you all through there and just kind of give you a quick look at that while we have a few minutes left.
Yes. Thank
Yeah?
you. Please.
Okay. So it gets a little bit loud in the